Hello, this is Rick Morris. This is a recovery video, step 4, episode 2, title The Victim. The step states we made a fearless and searching moral inventory of ourselves. Wow, we made a fearless and searching inventory, moral inventory. There's some powerful words in there we're going to unpack. The scripture to go along with this is let us examine our ways and test them, and let us return to the Lord. Lamentations 3:40. When I was in the military, we had to go through basic training. And when somebody would not make it through basic, they washed out. They called them recycles. They had to go through it again. Well, old Rick, I didn't want to go through basic training again. I wanted a one and done. I'm going one time through basic and that's it. I'm going to make sure I get through this and I don't want to have to do it again. Well, I want it to be the same way for this 12-step program. Some of you are recycles. That's okay. Let's get it done. But some of you, this is your first time through, and let's make this one and done. Let's do a fearless, searching inventory, moral inventory, and let's get free. That's what I'm all about. Is getting you free on a one and done. Okay, all addicts leave destruction behind them. When you look in the rearview mirror, you see destruction through relationships, through your job, through the scenario. We manipulate people to get what we want when we want it. The manipulation can be in the form of intimidation, humor, fear, anger, pity, sorrow, flatteries, lies. Do you use any of these moral defects to manipulate people? Or have you done it in the past? I'm going to pause here and let you have time to give an example. Think about it. Give an example. When people around the addict wise up and they resist the manipulation, then the addict typically assumes the role of victim. Becoming a victim expands the destruction. The thinking behind an addict becoming a victim is upside down thinking. How can we be a victim when we use people, we spend money unwisely, we disappoint family, we lie, we deceive, we manipulate people to get what we want? The real truth is we're not the victim. When people around us react to the addiction, then we feel violated. Have you ever felt violated by the people you've manipulated? Victims always play the blame game. My problems are someone else's fault. Remember this, when you point the finger at someone else, there's 3 fingers pointing right back at you. Try it. You'll see it works. It's true. Now, I want to talk about the victim trap. It's a trap we fall into. The trap has several parts. It's just like any trap, a bear trap or pest trap, any kind of trap. The first thing it has is bait. The bait brings the person or the animal or whatever you're trying to trap into the trap, to stick their foot or their face into the trap. The bait to an addict or an alcoholic is uh, alcohol, drugs, sex, or anything else that we're addicted to. Whenever we have a craving, we look for bait. We put the bait at such a high priority that we do whatever it takes to go in there. Our thinking becomes cloudy and we're easily persuaded by the enemy at that point. We still have a choice to make, but this is our weakest point when we're looking at the bait or we're thinking about the bait in the threshold of our mind. If we start to manipulate, then in reality we've made our choice, because then we start down the slope of the trap. It becomes more and more difficult to turn around. Once we take the bait, then we feel worthless. The enemy then beats us up with statements like, "You are worthless, you'll never be free. This is your life forever. You're trapped." To make us feel worse and keep the cycle going, the enemy finally tells us that we're the victim. So there's a cycle. It's called bait, manipulation, and victim. And then bait. Bait, manipulation, victim, bait. It's like a merry-go-round. It's like a cycle around the mountain. Whatever you want to use to describe it, the addict goes around and around and around the mountain, or on the merry-go-round, and they can't get off. They want off, hate this life, but this circle of bait, manipulation, victim is a circle. It goes on and on and on. Now, how can you break that circle? I'm going to pause here and give you time to answer. My answer to the way you break the bait, manipulation, and victim cycle is work these steps. And one of the hardest parts is do a fearless, searching, moral inventory. We're going to talk about that in more detail in other sessions. But the first part of this is to go over these areas that you've manipulated people and left destruction in your past. Make that the start of your moral inventory. We'll talk about this further in the next session.